obviously we're both wearing white t-shirts. We're both classy individuals. Mine's a bit tighter than yours. Um, but why is that a thing? Well, is it just a white shirt? Is that just your favorite go-to? Or
I guess it's a lot of white shirts. I don't know. I just whenever I mean I usually wear it more at home rather than when I go out.
hmm
But it's just super easy, you know. You don't have to think
true.
too much. You just grab one, put it on, and
hmm
you're set.
And I want to ask because I've always assumed, how do you say your name properly?
How do I say it? I mean, me myself, I don't say my own name too much,
hmm
but I would say Gelotris.
Okay. And because I've
It's
heard other
probably
pronunciations from notable members.
yeah. No, I mean those notable members also asked me how it's correct
hmm
or if it's correct the way they say it. And I've I don't know, I just whenever I feel like okay, someone is trying to say my name,
hmm
it's making a click for me and I don't even think about how it's pronounced. Like I don't really put any thoughts to that really.
Fair. Like you know they're talking to you. They know you know they're not really
That's
calling you
enough. That's
anything
all I
bad.
need to know.
Yeah. But I know you're known in the Geoguessr space and everything, but I just wanted to know if you had sort of like a job outside of this to begin with. Like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, when I started, what did I do? I don't even know at the time that I started. It was like 21, but yeah, I did finish my studies in 18,
hmm
19. I did study architectural management.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like working in the real estate sector. I was a sales, like an real estate agent after the uni. And then I switched to logistics, did controlling there.
hmm
Kind of want to go back now. I mean, I'm happy with how everything went.
Yeah.
I had a lot of free time, you know,
hmm
but obviously in real estate, you earn a little bit more and have less time. You know, that's always the problem. What do you want more? I mean, as a GeoGuessr player, I think you prioritize time.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I kind of went away from it, but also because I felt like I didn't really set myself high goals on earning a lot of money. I think
hmm
it was enough what I had, so I was happy with it, and having a lot of free time on top of it, yeah, made it an easy decision for me.
And are you still sort of in the logistics world now, or okay?
Yes, for now I am, but I am trying to start in real estate again.
hmm
Ideally, something that works from home office, of course. Talking
Yes.
about the time, yeah.
Okay. So you wouldn't you. So before were you in the office and actively going to properties and things?
Yes.
But now you're looking for. Do you still want to go to properties, or are you just wanting to work in behind the scenes sort of thing?
I mean, ideally, I would love to work in the project planning.
hmm
So therefore, I feel like you also have to be around the project that you are working at, but
True.
not that much.
So,
Not as much as you did or I did as an agent, where you like
hmm
constantly had to go there whenever like they wanted to look at the buildings or look at the apartments. They did try to
Yeah,
rent you. Yeah, pretty much always had a back and forth there.
because that's what I think of when I think of like that sort of job. It's the people in the like the shops or whatever that are taking you to the actual locations or trying to sell you them in the in well you're face to face sort of thing with the customer. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting to
I
hear.
mean, it was a 24/7 thing. You were like either face to face, and if not, you just had
hmm
your phone ringing 24/7.
And you want to get back
So
into
yeah,
that?
no, no,
No,
not
no,
as
no,
an
no, no, no,
agent.
no. Okay,
Not at all.
yeah.
No,
The agent, no, the yeah,
it
okay.
was fun. Like it, I don't regret it.
hmm
But like currently at this stage of my life, I wouldn't want to do it. No.
No, I don't think I ever want my phone to go 24/7. I need that free time.
Yeah, I had phone calls at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
Who
Yeah,
thought that was a good idea?
I don't know. I mean, they went on my blacklist immediately. I don't know what they were cooking, but yeah, it did happen. Not that often, but yeah, you had some very early calls.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right. Moving back into after that, well, you're still doing some logistics at the minute, but you've started playing Geoguessr, started creating content a little bit around it. How does it feel back then when you started compared to now, where you're definitely seen as one of the older side of the Geoguessr community? How does that? How's the dynamic shifted sort of that, in that sort of way?
Mm, I think like this shift I really felt when I played myself in the first World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
called the World Cup in 23. Um, but only until like I was there
Yeah.
and everything happened, I felt like, wow, this is something I did not expect like 2 or 3 years before that. That's really where I felt this shift
Mm-hmm.
of the game getting a bit more serious and more competitive and yeah, just bigger in general.
And that first World Cup, you made it to main stage. You put on a performance of sorts on main stage. How did you find that entire experience? Because obviously, not many people have gone through that.
I mean, first off, I was just super lucky to get in at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was more like an invitational. You didn't really have qualifiers.
Yeah.
And the only reason I made it in is because I think 2 or 3 players declined.
From Turkey
So,
or from other
no, from other
nations? Oh,
countries.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly who, or if they want to. I don't want to like
Mm-hmm.
shout it out publicly. I don't know if they want it to be known, but yeah, there was 2 countries I know of who declined, and after that, I got invited. So I was like super lucky
Yeah.
to even be able to play there. And yeah, when I was there, I kind of had a 50-50 feeling of how I will perform.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it all went as I predicted, honestly. Like the
Okay.
group stage and also the games afterwards pretty much went as I expected it to be.
Because I didn't. I thought while I was there, because I managed to sneak into the actual players area on the first day. But I sort of felt like you weren't too confident about getting out of the group on that
Yeah,
first
not
day.
100%.
Yeah.
I think I had Kodiak in my group, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my whole group was
Macam?
Consus
Oh
Trabota,
no.
Macam, Quarksos, Kodiak. That's it. And me,
Mm-hmm.
6. Um, and I knew I will not have a chance against Trabota. I knew that. I knew Consus gonna be a tough one as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he won the whole thing. Then I had Quarksos where I thought I could beat him. Meckham was difficult because I kind of didn't know what to expect from Meckham in that environment, especially with moving also already being
Yeah.
played there. And back then, I mean, also nowadays, I'm not good at moving, but especially in 23, I didn't know anything like about the mechanics, backtracking, finding information. I didn't know anything.
I still
So,
don't. And I play
yeah,
moving exclusively.
yep, it is a toughie. It is a toughie, and therefore I was not too confident, but I thought I still have a good chance against Meckham.
Mm-hmm.
And the only matchup where I couldn't predict it was Kodiak.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
think there were
felt
high
like he,
expectations of him going in as well.
yeah. I already knew that was really the only matchup where I really had to lock in and focus because I think that was the decider.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I won against Kodiak, I already knew I have a pretty good chance to make it to day 2.
And you did. Good. Who did you play in the playoff round? I think you did, didn't you? On the end of day
Then
one.
yeah, there was this knockout game I
Mm-hmm.
had against Zigzag.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, going into that, I also didn't like that was also a 50-50 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nowadays that's a freebie for Zigzag, I would
Yeah.
say. But in
But
23, I felt like I'm still maybe a bit better than Zigzag.
and
But
because NMPZ is
nowadays,
the last mode as well, and he's
yeah,
known for that, or even at the
yeah,
time was known for that.
yeah, he still has his main focus on that, especially
Mm-hmm.
like now. But back then, also like I felt like I have a good chance with the other modes also being in it.
Even back then, when you were, obviously you were representing Turkey, but you were still sort of known as somebody who knew Turkey, I believe. What was it? Just the fact that you have the roots in Turkey, and because Germany wasn't on the game, was that why you then sort of got stuck in and then sort of like researched Turkey a lot, and then became sort of known as the best Turkey player?
Yeah, there was a lot of factors that played into that. I mean, first off, as you already mentioned, Germany had pretty poor coverage, like only cities, which is something I also grinded it, actually. Like we called it city streaks back then. With only a handful of cities with coverage. I did enjoy learning Germany as well, but I think one of the main factors was that the coverage wasn't as dense in Turkey as well. You only had main road coverage.
True.
So that made the country a bit more learnable than others. And I mean, originally it was, especially when I started learning it in 21. I mean, it was already in late 21 where I like decided to learn it a bit more. There was like no map played other than a Diverse World.
True.
Pretty much. You had like 2 or 3 other maps, but like the main map was the Diverse World. And I just started remembering locations.
Repeat
And
farming. Yeah.
yes, I did farm repeats. I did save the locations whenever I had one, and I tried to actively learn the locations on that map.
Okay.
So originally, I didn't really start by learning the country. It was more like learning every location in a
That
Diverse
came
World.
up. Yeah.
But doing that, you also unwillingly learned the country as well and how places looked like. And after that commitment, you also kept on updating yourself with knowledge with all the new streetwear coverage. Then in 22, that was where the big update came.
So, and then since then, have you felt like a pressure to keep up as because you've got that sort of title, or is it more of a I actually still enjoy learning it?
I think mostly after the big update in 22, I think it was in September 22, where like pretty much all rural roads out of nowhere overnight got coverage in Turkey. That was where I didn't really feel pressure. It was more like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna move on to a new country because it's not learning. I mean, Turkey was always hard to learn, even with it not having that much coverage. But after 22, I really lost like motivation a bit with how frequent the updates were from day to day. It was so much to learn, and I couldn't keep up with it. It's also kind of busy with life. But yeah, I just took a bit slower approach to it, I feel like. I didn't really pressure myself, but I just constantly looked from province to province what's new, is there maybe something to learn? Because when all came out, everything looked the same to me. And
I get
yeah,
that.
yeah, but yeah, if you really take a closer look to it, you will find those small details that you find here and not there. And I don't know, it was still fun to learn. I didn't grind it, but I kept going and I just never stopped learning it. And therefore, I think I'm still pretty good at it.
Because in one of my first ever streams, sort of thing, I randomly got a Turkey location, zoomed in on Turkey once I figured out it was Turkey. Obviously, it was a moving game. I didn't really know what was going on. And I saw the name Batman. So obviously click on it. I think it was like a 4999 or something like that. So from that point on, I was like, right, that's my Turkey hedge. That's like, if I see Turkey, I'm clicking Batman.
Yep.
Can you rate out of 10 what you would, how good of a hedge you think Batman would be in terms of some of the country? I want to be let down slowly here.
Well, it's pretty far on the eastern side of the country. And the further I mean, that's a rule of thumb, but the further east you go, the less coverage you have in the country.
Yeah.
So you really don't hedge too much coverage. But I mean, the game isn't really about that.
No.
If it's a map that's still evenly distributed, I think it can still work, even though I think it's not the most optimal place.
They've added more
to
coverage
hedge.
to the east.
Maybe.
Maybe. But no, I have learned a few things since then. Like I know, like off the top of my head, I know some of the bollards. I think it's the Izmir ones or something like that, and then like the Bursa chevrons or something like that. Just things I pick up, and that's how I sort of play the game. Like if there was something that somebody wanted to learn about Turkey, that sort of like would instantly get them better, or a couple of things, small things. What small things like that do you think are like the main ones to learn, in your opinion?
The main ones. I mean, most people will probably not like learning car meta.
Hmm.
Um, but especially that is helpful nowadays because you have a lot of different cars used in the country. You have the no car where you don't see the antenna at all.
Mm-hmm.
You have the antenna car. You got the truck coverage out of nowhere. No one was
True.
expecting that. And suddenly we had truck coverage. And even now, I think Turkey is one of the countries with most small cam coverage right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is also not everywhere. So you can always rule in or rule out places that will eliminate a lot of 50/50s just by, yeah, looking at which car you have where. If you don't like learning that, I would say it's tough because it's really a country where you just have to learn how places look like.
Mm.
It's really this looks like there, and because of that, it's their type of country. But yeah, that's a bad thing to say. Obviously, I want to
Mm-hmm.
give something you can actively learn, and that's probably terrain. Learning mountain alignments,
Mm-hmm.
because in some areas of the country they go from east to west.
Yeah.
Some areas have like very recognizable ridges. Some areas are like very flat. And yeah, I feel like if you learn that, you are set even if there's like new coverage and updated stuff. Those things just stick and will stay there.
And I can get behind that because I still remember that one time I think we had I think it's the red soil in the valley, so like in Tuncheli or and I had that with you one time, and you were obviously flaming me and someone else for not getting it because it's the most obvious place ever. Um, and then it came up in a duel at one point, and I instantly slammed and like won the game off of it basically. And I was like, right, okay, so this is how I have to learn. I have to have Gelotris in my ear yapping. But no, I think landscape and sort of just what things look like here, I think that's helped me in some of the times when I played it as well. So
I mean, if I flamed you, then you probably played with Diono. Because
it was either that
he
or Rowan. I can't
especially
remember.
is the one that I always flame because I did teach him a lot of stuff and he just decided to ignore everything. When I see him doing something that I taught him, I always have to like be a bit mean to him. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that will motivate him more to listen to me. But yeah, it's all jokes, of course. I know how hard it is to make a good region against that country, and whenever I flame someone, it's probably a friend, and I
Mm-hmm.
do it out of jokes, of course.
Yeah, I didn't take anything personally.
Yeah.
But on the last thing before we move away from Turkey, do you get a lot of requests to sort of teach you Turkey from sort of like pro players in spare time, or how do you go
Mm,
about that if people do come to you?
yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, there has been a couple,
Mm-hmm.
a handful. I think a lot of people are afraid to ask. Like,
Yeah,
not afraid, they just have the assumption that I'm gatekeeping stuff and don't want to share it, maybe. Um,
maybe.
or probably some are just afraid to take my time, even though
Mm-hmm.
if if it's a friend, if it's someone I know, then I would never like turn it down. I'm
Yeah.
always down to help. But at the same time, I feel like also those who are interested in getting coached are probably players in competitions who have a
Mm-hmm.
higher interest in learning stuff. And I think those people just know that Turkey isn't that easy to learn, even if it's taught. And I
Yeah,
don't think they want to have that time commitment to that country then.
because it's not one of the bigger countries. Like if you're gonna put that time commitment in, maybe like a Russia or a Brazil or something like that.
Yeah, especially like also east and west is easy to distinguish most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, yeah, that makes the country also a bit smaller. But yeah.
So you went from playing, and now you're in the analyst and or casting both at the same time sometimes. What's the differences there? Do you enjoy that more than playing as like a competitor, or are you looking to potentially go back into playing?
I mean, it's pretty hard to compare, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare it at all. I mean, competing and just watching and yapping over it, just two very different things. But in terms of what I do enjoy more is the casting role.
Okay.
Um, Definitely more. Because it's just, I mean, you can have like a different approach and maybe not put too much pressure onto yourself
Mm-hmm.
if you want to compete. But yeah, it's just way too much time and effort. I feel like, especially these days where everyone is just a goat.
Yes.
um, I wouldn't be able to, yeah, put that much time into it. I feel like, even though I enjoy the game a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I just think the time consumption for that is too high to compete as a player.
So, but you are still obviously putting time in to learn things because you need to relay that information when you're in the commentary booth.
Yeah, of course. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also like I do enjoy it. I probably still learn the same amount of times I do as when I did compete. But you can just pick what you feel like
True.
on learn. Like when I knew I had to compete in the World Cup or EMEA or anything like that, I knew I have to learn stuff that's useful rather than stuff that I enjoy learning.
Fair.
And that just, I don't know, that takes the enjoyment of learning stuff away because that's the pressure I
Mm-hmm.
was talking about. Like, you get to learn stuff you don't really want to learn. I still learn a lot, but not really the most useful stuff.
I understand that. After the first World Cup, I went to ask people for help over certain things because I was like, I might want to get into casting or analysis or something like that because I've done analysis before or like I've also done interviewing stuff before at sports and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll go into one of those. But then sitting down and having to learn it, which is what was stopping me from becoming even better. Like I just want to play and enjoy and learn things as I play. So when it came down to sitting and learning things, especially since it's got to the copyright era and all of that stuff, it just took all the fun out of it for me. So sitting down and learning things you enjoy rather than sitting down and learning things to get better at the game. Like, to I understand why you've gone with the casting in that sense, at least. Do you have? I'm not going to try and pit you against everyone, but like, is there a casting duo? Because I know you've casted with a few people. Is there a casting duo that you felt like worked the best? Because obviously, not every like it's not like oh yeah, I don't like casting with that person or anything like that, but it's like I know from my time in doing things and just content and all of that you know when you're casting with someone that you can bounce off them easier than somebody else, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, starting with the World League
Mm-hmm.
in 24, it was when I started casting with Ziggy,
Yep.
which was pretty unexpected, I must say. I didn't know Ziggy came in for that, but yeah. I mean, the first weeks I did it with Ziggy, and Ziggy is someone I've known forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the community for a very long time, and it's also, I think, yeah, he's the person I'm the closest with or like interact the most with in the Geo community. So obviously that's an easy
Yeah.
answer for me. Yeah, having a friend with you on the side, doing that together. For me, like as a caster who is doing it together with him, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I can see it being not the most optimal duo for the viewers.
Too similar in terms of style of
Yes,
casting.
yes, we
Yeah.
are like maybe a bit more. Yeah, we're just both nerds, geo nerds, and maybe sometimes we just talk about stuff that the viewers don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I mean, for a viewer, it's always better to have a caster team of someone who is just not that good, ideally, who knows something
Yeah.
about the game, but
Mm-hmm.
he's like able to ask me the questions that the general
Yeah.
viewer wants to know. which wouldn't happen with Ziggy and me because we will always understand each other.
So like, yeah, if you were to say something and I would come up with like, oh, well, what does that actually mean? And then you can go into explaining it so that the general viewer, rather than you saying it to Ziggy and Ziggy just goes, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it already starts with saying VA instead of Western Australia.
Yeah.
Like the general viewer will not understand what we mean if we say VA.
No.
And if Ziggy is saying VA to me, I'm saying, yeah, I also think it's VA. Rather than him, I mean, there has to be one part who's saying, what is VA? Yeah. Oh, it's Western Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. In those terms, I don't think we are the most optimal duo to cast. But yeah, for me, myself, in terms of enjoying casting, it was still Ziggy, of course. Yeah.
And the travel for events, has that been enjoyable, or is it? I know you've not really gone to a lot of places because it's mainly just Sweden. So this year potentially Copenhagen. I don't know. Are you still enjoying that part, or you get a little bit jealous that people get to go to Tokyo and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo was depressing, obviously. Yeah, I got the mail saying, yo, we want you for the Tokyo majors, Asia majors, and I see the title of the mail. I'm like, what? Tokyo? Yes. And I opened the mail in the studio in Stockholm. I was like, no. And I mean, I would still enjoy going there if you also have the players there at least. But just sitting there, I mean, we were 3 casters, I think. Yeah. I mean, for Tokyo, it was us 3. And I mean, I also enjoyed my time there with Pala and Ziggy. It was Pala, Ziggy, and me for Asia majors. I did enjoy my time with them there, but it's just you don't have like all these people you usually meet going to those events. And yeah, it wasn't that great, but I still enjoy it. I mean, even if we are only 3 people, you still get to enjoy the time there.
Yeah, but it's definitely more of a work trip than a fun event sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
When I saw Tokyo and then I heard that you were, well, I think we all found out, some of us found out at the same time as some of the casters that they were doing certain events based on the announcements. But I was like, oh, can't believe they're pulling everyone all the way to Japan or everyone all the way to Texas. But no, unfortunately, I don't get to ask you about how Japan was. That was one of the questions I really want to ask.
I mean, we still had Bloom over there, and CG was also there, right? Yeah. True. They just didn't have enough room there to put everyone over there because the production was also by a Japanese production team, right?
Yes, there was a Japanese cast and everything.
So they did set everything up there for themselves, and I think there was just not enough room. So I can't really blame Geoguessr for not putting us on there. It was just difficult to organize.
Moving on to Twitch, I know you've got a partner recently. What's happened to the stream since?
Well, the biggest issue I feel like is just I did stream Geoguessr mainly, and I just have not been playing lately. If I would play, I would stream it.
True.
It's not me not wanting to stream. It's just I play a lot of Counter-Strike lately. And that's pretty much the only game I play. I mean, for Geoguessr, it's just an on and off. But I don't sit down and play, at least lately. I mean, slowly I'm finding the motivation again to play a bit more. And if I play a bit more, I will also stream it, of course. But I would say that's the main issue with why I don't really stream anymore. Is just because I don't play it that much anymore. So there's...
Because I obviously a few other people have gotten partner in the Geoguessr space and sort of stopped afterwards. I just was wanting to know whether it was something similar to potentially like you've sat there and grinded for partner and you've hit it and you've got it 2 months of reaching 75 average over the streams, and then it's like, well, I've done that, what's next, sort of thing. Like, I don't particularly want to play GeoGuessr, which is what I've been doing for these last 2 months to get the average up.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
next?
it was mostly because I did do that during the World League
True.
time. So you automatically just streamed more because of that. That was happening every week.
Yep.
So with that together, I feel like, okay, there's a good opportunity to grind a bit more and go for that badge, of course. But it wasn't really that I was sitting down thinking to myself, oh no, I have to stream to get the badge. It was just at the right time.
Because you also have tournaments, and
that as well.
they've stopped as well. Is that more of a enjoyment in terms of GeoGuessr again? And
I think that has something to do with the flow. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if you're like out of the loop and stop streaming, I don't know, there's also like not the motivation to think about the type of content you can stream if I'm not streaming anyway. But yeah, it is really, just as I said, all about the flow. If you like on those dailies, you also think more of what you can stream, obviously, if you are on that daily grind, what I could call it. Then you automatically, as I said, think about more content you can stream, and therefore I thought about the tournaments. But right now, when I'm not streaming anyway, I don't even think about what I could do as content.
I was only asking because obviously I took part in one. I was just trying to get back into that. But no, you also did a ladies tournament. What was the inspiration behind that, and what did you want people to take away from that?
I mean, originally, starting off with the idea was like more of a meme. I was talking to Dayono, and we like to jokingly put some bad light on each other, and I was like, you don't care about women, why don't you host a women's only tournament and all that? And I was like, wait, actually, that wouldn't be a bad thing. There are a lot of female GeoGuessr players. Why is it not a thing? And I was like, Dayono, you should host it. And he was like, no, you should host it. You're the tournament poster streamer.
But Dayono pushed that off. He didn't want any part of that.
I did push it to Dayono, and he pushed it over to me.
Interesting.
And but as I said, it was like more of a meme, which got more serious because that leads to thinking about it. And I thought it was a great idea. Why not? And I just went out there, DM'd a couple of female players if they would be interested, because that was also like kind of not really a struggle. There are a lot of players, but I just didn't know who to invite first. And then I came up because I don't know if do you want to have it fair and make like a real competition around it with qualifiers and all that? It takes obviously way more planning. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invite regulars from my chat, people I've known for a long while. So it was like more of an invitational with players I've known for a while.
I think it was a good time. I was screen watching. I was having a good time in some of those in those chats, telling people they could cheat, but none of them did. It was quite unfortunate. But no, I think it was a really good, well-run tournament, and very well. What's the words I'm looking for? The thought behind it was the correct. Well, until I heard that it was a meme, I thought it was in the right place.
Originally.
But it was also quite a large prize pool as well. I think until some of the recent Geo Classics, or what was it, the Rainbow Classic. It was like one of the really higher up tournament winnings from a community perspective, at least. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was also something that I did prioritize, because all of my tournaments before that didn't have a prize pool. There was nothing. It was all for the funds. I did give out a sub to the winner, but that's it. But yeah, that's also something I was aware of, where I really wanted that to be a thing, because there was this message behind it, of course. That was the first prio, having a message,
Yeah.
giving them a platform, giving them something to show that they are also very good at the game, and we did see some very great gameplay. But yeah, and second off, I thought it would be nice if they get something out of it. A prize pool would be cool. I did not have any expectations at all, but I was like, even if it's like $10, hey, that's more than zero. But yeah, it did end up being 1.2k euros, which was way over the expectations. As I said, I didn't even have any.
Yes.
But yeah, then I was like, wow. So it wasn't only the message behind it, it was also a pretty big prize pool. Yeah.
And how did you go about paying that? Is that surely someone's got questions that you're sending out, so like 1.2k to people?
Yeah, I mean, I did set up a PayPal for that, and it
Yeah.
got frozen right after it. Because obviously, if you make a new account, you suddenly have 1.2k on it. I couldn't pay them out for it took like, was it a month? I think even more than a month. Yeah,
So,
they kind of had to wait for the money.
so they thought you might be
Which
scamming.
made it, yeah, which made it a bit awkward for me as well. I'm like, shit, they are waiting for their money, but there's nothing I can do. It's frozen. But yeah, they knew that's a thing. I did send them the message from PayPal, it being frozen and being checked if it's real money. And after like around 30 days, it was unfrozen and I could pay it out to them. Yeah, everything worked out smoothly.
So you're saying that if I do check out with the winners and stuff, they will have got the money? Yeah.
They do. They do. Now they do.
Last couple of things, just some sort of potentially crowdsourced questions here. First of all, why do you have so many hours in Pummel Party? Is one question I have to ask.
Is it many?
I don't know. Just when we went to play the other day, you seemed to be called out for Pummel Partying quite a bit.
I blame back, first off. He was doing some settings where we had to sit down and play for 3 hours, even though we just wanted a quick lobby. But yeah, also before that, with some IRL friends I did play before. It wasn't only with the Geo people.
And potentially last off, why is the AWP your only good gun?
I don't know. I like snipers.
True.
It's also the scout.
No, it's
and
a scout. Okay.
Also in Fortnite, I was like always the sniper guy. Like whenever someone found a sniper, they didn't even ask me. They just dropped it right in front of me, and I picked it up. I don't know. I do enjoy snipers in games in general.
And did you play it in COD as well? Did you play snipers there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a Call of Duty guy. I think the last one I played was even Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I don't know. I don't know why. I think it's a good game, but I just never saw myself playing Call of Duty. I don't know.
No, I gave up on that a long time ago. But in that, I would pick up a sniper, but I'd use it as an actual sniper. Like I'd sit at the back and snipe, and I would be told I'm a dirty, filthy hardscoper, and I should do certain things. Obviously, with CS, it's a bit different. Obviously, you can walk around with it, but like you're sort of more holding angles as well. Is it the angle holding, or do you do more quick scoping sort of thing in that instance?
No, definitely. I mean, I do like fast-paced games more, and I think that's maybe also why I like CS more than Call of Duty, because Call of Duty can be a bit slower.
Yeah.
What is it? I think I have pretty good like raw aim. Maybe not the best game sense. Maybe not the best positioning and all that, but I am pretty precise. I have pretty good aim, and I think the snipers reward that.
And you like fast-paced games, so I won't be getting you over to Siege anytime soon. No.
Nope.
Is there anything you want to say at the end here? Anything you want to shout out at all?
To wrap it off, just shout out to you for making these. I do like the little chats. I've been watching them, now on it myself. So yeah, shout out to you and everyone watching. Make sure to hit that follow button.
Thank you very much.